Hey. It's Friday. Friday, November 18th of 2022. So great to be here with you guys today. I think we're going to talk about what's going on at the University of Idaho. So sad. So sad. Just once again, more senseless things going on in our world that just don't make sense, guys. But we're going to talk about it. Hope everybody's having a great start to their Friday. Because I know I am. And it's even better now that I'm here with you guys. So let's get things rolling, everybody, and get to doing it. What's up, everybody? How are we doing today? Good to be here with you guys. Good to have you guys here with me. Good morning. Or good afternoon, good evening, good night. Wherever you're at, thank you for joining me. Very much appreciated. Lots to talk about, as always. So great to see you guys. Let's see who we got here. Jenny Jones. Good to have you here. Good to see you. Strike first, strike hard. As always, good to have you here, brother. Miss Kim Marin. I don't know why I struggle, but thank you so much for joining me, Kim. Always a pleasure to have you. Let's see, who else do we have? We got some people lurking in the background. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, much appreciated. Good to have you here. And they keep on coming. So grab your coffee, your tea, guys, whatever your pleasure. Come on in, have a seat. Let's hang out and have a conversation. Oh, la. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope your the rest of your day yesterday was amazing, because that's what I hope for you guys. Good morning, Squirrel and Daisy Dead's in the house. Good to have you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying your day so far. Hopefully, you're not getting this white stuff that I have all over my yard and my street. Yeah, I think we're about to hit that too. We didn't get it yesterday. Like, we didn't get anything yesterday, really. We had a little bit of flurrying, but that was it. And today, different story, guys. It's white out there for sure. For sure. Yeah, I saw that on the news. You're pretty close to me, Kim. So that's Erie's always. Well, you get that lake effect crap. That nothing but snow. So, and I guess they had to change up the. Well, that's all that matters is you got your Starbucks. That makes everything in the world right, doesn't it? Oh, don't wish too hard, Jenny, because you once you get it, it's nice to have. Like I said, for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Yeah, I seen you got a couple inches going there, Strike. Um, what's up, Lance? Welcome to the sea, brother. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I'm so happy to have it. After that, you can do whatever you want with it because I don't want it anymore. I'm done. That's all it's good to me for. That's it, guys. Um, what was I gonna say? Jersey sucks. You guys don't get snow in Jersey? You get snow in Jersey. You don't have any right now, I'm sure, but I've seen it snow in Jersey. Yeah, I don't have any use for it after. Like I said, I'll have it. I love it for Christmas Eve because it sets the mood. I think I've explained that before. I'm a Norman Rockwell Christmas type person. I love that whole ambiance of it. The it's dark out with the big snowflakes falling and the fires going in the fireplace. The Christmas trees are lit up and the whole family's there. We're drinking coffee or hot cocoa or whatever, and then in the background we're playing "It's a Wonderful Life." That's my whole Christmas Eve genre. I love it when it happens. Now, typically, because of the way my luck runs, it's about 85 degrees on Christmas Eve. There's no snow on the ground, and nobody cares to watch "It's a Wonderful Life," and everybody else is drinking whiskey or rum. So that's how that works. You know how it goes. And then Christmas Day, of course. I would love for it to snow on Christmas Day. Yeah, I just was getting ready to say that, Kim, that Cleveland and Buffalo are playing in Detroit because it's been snowed out. So it's going to be a shitty game anyway because Cleveland sucks. They suck bad. Yep. Kelly, what's up? What's up? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Good to have you here. Come on in, guys. Get comfortable. Make yourselves at home. Go Seahawks. They can go wherever they want to go. Go away. I'm not a big fan of Seattle. I don't mind them. Oh, I'm sorry, Kelly. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope everything's okay. I see that, Lance. I take it you're a fan. You guys all have pretty decent. No, I haven't seen it, Jenny. I'm kind of leery about watching it. Is it out already? And if it is, where do you watch it at? Because I have a Fire Stick and all that, but I haven't seen it anywhere. We watched the. Oh, I'm sorry, hon. Yeah, I bet it is. Well, we're all praying for you, my dear. I'm so sorry. This, not that any time is good for that kind of thing to happen, but this time of year is just, it makes it even 10 times harder, in my opinion. Lots of prayers and good vibes coming your way, hon. We all love you and we're all praying for you. What's up, Izzy? Good to see you. Where did you just pull it up, Jenny, on a like a movie app, or is that how you found it? Or last night, my granddaughter spent the night, which is why I didn't get to go into Lisa's stream. I felt bad, but I had her here from the time I got off of my stream yesterday until she's still here today. She's hanging out with my mother-in-law now, but okay, so I'll just have to look it up via an app and see if I can find it. All right, thank you, Jenny. I feel so bad. I'm so sorry, Kelly. I mean, there's not much that anybody can say to make anything any better in that situation other than that we're praying for you. And I hope you're okay as a person, you know. I hope you're going to be okay. You know, I'm always available if you need to talk. Okay, Jenny. Thank you. Yeah, I'm always available if you need to talk or if you just want to talk. If you don't want to obviously talk on here, I get that. But if you need somebody to talk to, I'm available. The number that I put on the screen, if you want to call, you're more than welcome to call that number to get a hold of me. I'll take whatever time it takes just to sit and talk with you if you need. That offer's available to anybody, and you guys all know that. At any time, just know. And I'm thinking of you all the time. Absolutely no problems, Kelly. No problems whatsoever, my dear. It's a hard thing to deal with. I understand that. I don't know what Miss Lisa might be busy today, so it doesn't look like she's going to be joining me today. Sorry for that, guys. You're stuck with me by myself. Oh, absolutely, Kelly. Absolutely. Nothing less than that is what I would offer you because it's that's who we are here. That is who we are here. Once again, thank you, Squirrel, for the pictures. I did delete those just so you know, to help me figure that out. Although we did see while we're waiting, I guess we can talk about it, that the autopsy results came out on Deborah Collier, um, and they ruled it as a self offing situation due to a opioid overdose and flame flame and or smoke inhalation. Whatever. I won't accept it, but it is what it is. There's nothing that we can do about it. I'm not going to go on and on, but I don't accept it. So be it. There's another one for the books. So be it. Yeah, no, pretty much. That's absolutely right, Squirrel. Well, Red was leaning in another direction. Kind of a Red had talked about from the beginning that she was maybe cooking something up, and that's could possibly what happened. So it is what it is. It was interesting. I'll say that. I agree with you, Squirrel. Um, I can't accept it. There's something about it that doesn't. Yeah, I'm very uncomfortable and doesn't sit right with me. So yeah, she was hydrocodone, which is Vicodin, basically. Or no, Percocet. I'm sorry, it's Percocet. So she did take pain pills for her back, so she took a lot of them, and then uh, in essence, that probably meant that she wasn't clear, obviously. Okay, and that being when she tried to start the fire, everybody was asking in that live stream, why was there a fire? Well, my only guess would be if this is what she was doing, you guys, maybe she wanted to fire as a comfort measure to sit there by a fire to do that. Okay, I'll take that. I just don't understand. I don't. I don't accept her wanting to do that to herself, just based on the person she presented herself as. But at any given time, you can be wrong. We don't know people like that, guys. We don't know people. How people can. How can I put this? People are good at hiding their emotions. I'll just put it that way. So you guys know what I mean by that. Yeah, it looks like she probably took the whole bottle, and therefore, in turn, that's probably what happened with the fire. Right, Squirrel. That's it. Maybe we don't know her. Good people are good at hiding themselves. So it is what it is, and that's a fact too. We never did know her as a person. We know what we see and what people. We knew what we saw and what people said about her. So that's you don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm not. I don't want to say that this is true. This is pure speculation. Maybe she didn't have a great relationship with Steve. Maybe things were rough for her. And right, that thank you for saying that, Squirrel. And then the family just doesn't want to talk about it. And I don't blame them. That's not our business, guys. None of it's really our business. It's not. So, yeah, right. That's it, Daisy. That's a really good way of putting that too. What's up, Popper? How we doing today? Good to see you, bro. Um, so yeah, definitely. Yeah, he does. I told you guys and from the beginning, Steve just looks scary. He doesn't look like a happy guy. And some of the comments he made, when they were like even on the 911 call, he just sounded the fact that they had to share a Facebook account and bank accounts and this and that gives me the what do you call it? The dominant uh behavior, you know what I'm saying? Dominance, expressing the dominance behavior, control. That's the word I was looking for. Controlling. Not a lot of people are comfortable with that situation. So I always had a little bit of a thing for Steve. I don't want to say that I suspected him of things like right off the bat and this and that and everything else. I mean, some other things made him look a little suspicious to me as being a mean person. In every picture we saw of him, guys, there was never any, even a remote grin. So yeah, Very jealous and controlling. I mean, I can only imagine, Daisy. That's crazy. People are their own people, guys. Nobody has the right to make a person do what they want them to do. It's ridiculous. I've never seen that before, Squirrel. That's why that was kind of like weird to me because I had never seen or heard of people sharing an account. Like I would never imagine having to share an account with my wife and vice versa. My wife is a very independent woman, always has been. When I met her, it's one of the things that attracted me to her. And I would never imagine. I mean, we've shared bank accounts, where you have you're married, you share your account and you both put into it. But like Venmo accounts, Facebook, things like that, I just thought that was a little bit of a red flag for me in a sense. Now, at the same time, I also thought about it like maybe he just doesn't understand the technology with Venmo and stuff, so it's easier just to have her on there so she can control it and show him how to do it. That's where I was thinking that went. But when I heard the 911 call and he made that comment, it was just kind of like, yeah, I get it, Daisy. I do. That's true too, T. And that's what I was thinking. And like I said, Jeffrey does not accept this at all. Okay, and it's kind of like, okay, is there something else he knows that we don't know? Because we're not going to know everything, you guys. We're not supposed to. Again, it's not our business. We just take what we do know and we distribute it in our own way. So my parents do, and most here do. They don't do social media. Right? No, I got you. And see, I can understand it to an extent. Like my dad would never be on Facebook. That's no. My father still has a flip phone. You guys, he had a smartphone for one day, and he threw it on the floor and told my mom and kicked it towards my mom and said, "No, give me my phone back." He's like, "I don't get it. I don't want it. I can't handle it." And she tried to explain it to him. It just didn't happen. So he's on a flip phone. He doesn't care anything about Facebook, nor does he ever want anything to do with Facebook. So those things I get. And that's looking at it from that side of things, I can see where, yeah, that makes sense. And maybe it isn't a controlling thing. I don't know. There was just something about Steve that took me to the side a little bit. You know what I mean? Kind of like, this guy he looked like a damn hitman. The dude's, and he's a big guy, so that's intimidating. But again, that may not have anything to do with it. It just might be clinical depression, you guys. People are just born with it sometimes, or sometimes they just go through their life and through a series of events. It just happens, chemical imbalances happen all the time. And she just may have ended up, I don't either right now. I used to, but I don't either right now. So she may just have ended up depressed, you know? And when we have chemical imbalances, guys, it's very hard to rebalance that stuff. And it makes it hard getting on the right medications and regulating things and so on and so forth. So you just don't know. I am too, Strike. I didn't think they would still work, but they do. My dad's got one, and he's got a brand new one that they just came out with. It's a flip phone, but it's a newer technology. So it was either that, Daisy, or I was thinking of another scenario that that maybe there is a life insurance policy, and knowing that a life insurance policy would not pay out on at that type of a situation, that she wanted it to look like it was something else, so that her family would get the payout on the life insurance policy. And that does make sense to me. So it's very possible. Um, it just I can't something about the case, and I'll take it for what it is, guys. Just like with Kylie's case, I had to take it for what it was. There's just something about it that makes me not I'm not comfortable seated with the unaliving thing for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. I can't hit on it exactly. I've explained it to myself over and over again. I've sat down and talked to my wife and said, okay, this is what it is. And she knows most of the cases that I have because we talk about them. And I've explained it to her. This is how this one goes. Blah 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 blah. Here's the deal. Here's the facts. Here's this. Here's that. So on and so forth. Right. And it's kind of like, okay, what do you think? And she doesn't like. She's not as into it as I am. So she doesn't like really look at the deep facts on it. She didn't deep dive with me on it, stuff like that. So she doesn't really have an opinion on that one. She goes, it could be. She goes, but you don't know. And I said, that's it. We don't know. I said, but there's something about it that makes me uncomfortable with that theory. I don't know what it is or why, and I won't. So it is what it is, guys. That's the end result, and we're done. Moving on. Yeah, I that's very possible, Squirrel. I agree. Very, very possible. So I'm guessing so, and that's okay. You don't have to actually be in here. Um, you're more than welcome to just hang out and listen. At all costs, do what you got to do. Gotcha. Gotcha, Lance. What's up, Miss Heather? Good to see you. Thank you for joining. So, today, as you all saw in the title, I'm going to be getting into the University of Idaho slayings. Um, and it's another sad case of something that just is that nobody understands what there's so much. There's so much of this stuff going on. It's very sad, you guys. We just had before that. I think there was the three football players from University of Virginia. I mean, they have a suspect on that one. There's still really no motive or anything yet, but still, it's just so much of this going on. It's very sad, very sad. So much negativity, and this close to the holidays too. It's just so sad, guys. It is. I feel so bad for these people's families and friends, and just in general. It's bad. Come on in, everybody. Have a seat. Grab your coffee. Hang out. Let's talk. I think we're getting close to. Welcome, Karen. Good to see you. Yes, welcome all the meatballs. Come on in. Jump on in the sauce with me. That's part of what we're talking about today, Squirrel. It very much so, and it makes me wonder if there was more than one. They were definitely sleeping. They were all found in beds. Okay, and they were probably sleeping pretty hard if they were. I know two of them were at a bar, and then two of them were out at a party. So, but again, what I'm gonna, what you got to think about is when the first person was attacked. Okay, there had to have been some kind of screaming that started, which is going to awake the others. I'm going to think, and so on and so forth. They also said there isn't a threat to the community. Well, if they haven't caught that person yet, in my opinion, that's a threat to the community. I'm sorry. They're saying that so that people in the community won't panic, but I just highly disagree with that. I very highly disagree with that. That's just them trying to keep everything calm and stable, you know. Again, welcome, Karen. So good to see you. Yes, be vigilant and have patience. Well, four people were just unalived um, in that community. Of course, people are going to be nervous and be impatient. They want the comfort of knowing that the person that did this is in custody. You know, and I don't blame them in a sense. I know right now that if my child was up there, he wouldn't be there now. He'd be here. I would have went and picked him up that day, and that was it. And until they catch that person, he doesn't go back. That's just me. It definitely does. Definitely does, Karen. And there's some other things we're going to talk about that too. Um, since you guys are all such great think tankers, I want your opinions. For sure. Thank you, Miss Heather. And if you guys haven't hit the like button on the way in, please make sure on the way out that if you enjoyed today that you do. Please, I appreciate that. That keeps me in that algorithm thing flowing the right way, bringing in the people that are interested in this so that we can keep doing what we're doing. Very helpful. I have not seen her in a while, Squirrel. I do not know. There's a couple people I haven't seen. Well, I found out yesterday Christine's in the hospital. God bless her. I hope she's doing okay. Again, guys, that we just send some prayers and good vibes her way. She's got pneumonia, I heard. Um, yes, that is a fact. That is a fact, Squirrel. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah. I know. Like I said, Christine's in the hospital, and I do hope she's doing okay. I pray for her. I love Christine. Very sweet. And there was somebody else that I heard was sick too. Or no, it was she was here yesterday. She stopped in towards the end. Um, Twinkles. She's got COVID, so we're praying for her as well. A lot of people are sick right now with this, and it's not even just with COVID, you guys. It's this crazy flu that's going around. There's a lot of respiratory, like RSVs going around. Croup, poor Heather, her little one, she's sick. I feel so bad for her. Welcome, Pam. So good to see you today. Don't worry about the late thing. Not at all. Nobody's ever late. You're never late. You come when you come, and that's all. Well, you know what I mean, guys. When you get here, you get here. Yes, thank you, Karen. Prayers for Christine and Twinkles and anybody else that's dealing with any kind of sickness right now. Oh, I'm sorry, Heather. Now the oldest has it too, and that croupy stuff is just sad, especially with the little ones. It scares me when they have that croup going around with the respiratory stuff. And what happens is I don't know how many of you guys. Well, you guys are around my age, so you guys all know you've raised kids how it works. But that takes their breath away, and they struggle so bad with that. I just hate to see them with that. I think my one son had it once when he was little, and my grandson gets that kind of stuff all the time, constantly. Yeah, they're getting ready to close down a lot of the schools because of it. And it's like I said, it's not even just the COVID. It's um the flu and stuff going around. Um, it is. It's horrible. It's so hard to watch your little ones go through that and try to cough and breathe, and it's just sad. Good morning, Denise. Also, Squirrel, I'm gonna email you something, and I'm gonna talk to you about something else too. Just between you and me, nothing bad or nothing like that. I wanted to talk to you, uh, just you and I, to help you understand something else that we had talked about before. Good golly, Miss Molly, you're not late. Like I said, guys, don't ever worry about being late. You're here when you're here. I'm not gonna ever damn any of you for not being here when I start because I always take forever to get rolling. So don't worry about that, guys. I'm just grateful to have you here. That's all. Yeah, in fact, I'm gonna email you this, and now Lisa's sick. Good Lord. Well, that's why she's not with us today. Is she is sick, and I feel so bad. See, told you, it's everybody. Oh, 1 second, everybody. Um, 1 second. One moment. Let me find this here real quick. Oh, here we go. Okay, let's see. Kelly says, I have a big question for all of you. It's a scenario that happened with my brother and things not adding up. Bring it on, Kelly. Bring it on. Let's hear it. I'd be more than happy to talk to you in regards to that. That's what we're here for. Oh, thank you, Miss Heather. I appreciate that. Popper singing Christmas carols. Gotta love it. Oh, you see my tree back there? Okay. When we got word of this, it was from his daughter, never from his wife. Okay. Now, do you know who found him, Kelly? Oh, well, interesting. Interesting to know. Yes, it does need to stop. Doxing, swatting, none of that is cool at all for anybody. Honestly, it's not good. Let's see. He lives 1 to 1.5 hours away, so both sides, mom and dad. Here, let me just put these up here. Both sides, mom and dad, and their spouse traveled all that way to discuss what happened. Okay. Well, I can see that. It's better to talk in person about things like this than over the phone. So that I understand. She leaves them in the living room for 2 hours before coming out of her bedroom to talk to them. Okay. Well, that's definitely maybe she was just struggling with a lot. Well, yeah, that is a little off though, as if she was trying to come up with something to say to them, maybe. It is a little weird though. I'll say that much, Kelly. I don't know how she was handling it. Maybe she wasn't handling it very well. I did just now send it, squirrel. I'm not a big fan of typing, especially not emails. I hate emails, but we can texting is a little different. Because they're short and that's fine. And it's easy. It's just boom, boom, boom. You click it, you're done. So we can either wait until after this is over, or we can do it in between, whatever you're comfortable with. Take your time, Izzy. Oh, okay, Kelly. Absolutely, we can do it that way. Might make it a little bit easier, and that way you don't have to type all this. Good to hear, brother. I'm glad to hear that. So glad to hear that. You deserve to have it back. That's good to know. All right, there we go. Go ahead and give us a call, Kelly. I can't even do the talk to text thing. It drives me nuts. I just hate texting. I always have. 234-703-4047. Again, thank you all for joining me. Appreciate it. So great to have you guys here and to be able to hang out with you guys and have these discussions that we have. I appreciate it so much. You got voicemail? Mm, try it one more time. It shouldn't have worked that way unless I may have to change something. Hold on a minute. All right, let's try this. All right, try that one, Kelly, the in the chat. Try that one again. Yeah, I'm sure you probably will too, Pupper. At least a couple times. Um, yeah. There we go. Hello. All right, one moment. All right, thank you for calling. You got the Dago. How we doing today, Kelly?
Been better, but it's
Well, obviously.
now I'm just mad, so I'm the up and down of everything. But
I
was just talking to my brother, and there's just some things that just don't make sense, and we just don't know if you guys have maybe seen certain ways that people deal with things, possibly, or it's just odd.
I get it. I get it. My wife's uncle. My wife's uncle. He's from was from Alabama, and he. Okay, I'll just give you this real quick, and then we'll get into what you're saying because maybe this will help you understand. He was drinking, okay, and he's had a rough life. I'll put it that way. And he had a girlfriend that they had been together for a little while, but not forever, okay. And like I said, he was drinking one night. There were some arguing about something, and they the story we got was that they went out. His one of his kids was there, I think, and they're in the living room. And he got mad, went in the bedroom, slammed the door, and then they heard a gunshot.
Wow.
And the girlfriend was back in that realm of the house, and his kids were in the front part of the house. Okay. She says the way it looked was that he did it to himself. Okay. Now, after they've looked at it, now his kids have some problems with that. And that's why I said, I understand where you're at with this, possibly. Yeah. So now go ahead, and I just wanted to give you that up front so that you know that I do understand.
Okay, so I guess the situation lately has been, he's been married and has 2 kids with her, and they've been together for 20 plus years. He's religious, but he wasn't an asshole religious Mormon. Like, he was so cool. And no judgment on anybody or anything. Well, he's always been into baseball big time, and his son was doing so good, was going to have, like, an audition, I guess, for the Yankees. Like, they're just avid baseball players. Well, his son started like vaping and just not coming home at night. And so Gina was going to go feed him, like, because he didn't have food. He was just being, just rude. They assumed he was running with the wrong crowd. And what is weird is I don't think he's going to take his life over having issues with his son of being heartbroken that he don't want to play baseball anymore. It just don't make sense. So I guess he was on some depression pills a while back, and they told him to get off of them because he had the suicidal thoughts or whatever, which I'm not sure how long that was or anything.
Right.
So he was off of them and depressed for a little bit, and nobody really knew.
Okay.
Well, we're wondering if his wife's having an affair or something. We're not sure. This is the parts that don't make sense. Is she gets up in the morning every morning with him. Okay. Mm-hmm. This particular morning, she did not, for whatever reason. That's fine. His daughter, and we don't know if anybody else did, but his daughter had received a text from him saying, "I love you, goodbye." So they were like calling 911, trying to find out what was going on, where he was, whatever. And they pinged his phone and located him. Now, I don't know if they located, if somebody found him beforehand or if they were able to locate him straight from pinging his phone. I don't know.
Okay.
But what is odd is the wife not once has called the parents. Not once. When your husband dies and he has parents, you call the parents.
Yeah,
like that just don't make no sense to me.
Absolutely.
Not once did she reach out and tell them. She had her daughter do it, and I don't know if it was through text or by call, but it's just odd. Like, reach out to the parents. I understand if you're destroyed, but then if they make an hour and a half long trip down there, both his mom and dad, and they both have new marriages, their spouses, make an hour and a half trip down there, and you leave them sitting in the living room for 2 hours before you will even come out of the bedroom and talk to them and let them know what's going on, because you've made no goddamn phone call to them. They're still in the dark. They don't know any details.
Almost very
selfish.
Well, either selfish, definitely selfish, but almost like she's kind of like covering up guilt. Thank you. Yes, that's what I was going to say. So, the affair thing is very possible. We all know that happens all the time.
It's just not like him. This is so out of character for him. Like,
yeah,
it just doesn't seem right. So he had to have been in a very deep, dark place for some reason that just broke his heart. His heart had to have been broken so much for him to do something like this, because it's just not him. It had to take a lot. So
absolutely,
we're wondering if that was a possibility or whatever, but it just seems like it says guilt all over the place because she didn't. Who does that? You don't call the parents and then you do not come out for over 2 hours to let the family know what the hell has happened?
Well, I've seen it happen, but in certain criminal cases, but typically it ends up being because the person that does it is the suspect. So there's the problem. Okay.
Right.
Now I'm not saying she had anything to do with it. But again,
from an affair,
I
don't know.
There could be a lot of guilt there that maybe. Well, if I can ask,
she did say she talked to a lot of people that day, and the cops were there, and she talked to the cops and stuff, and she had visitors, and she was in the room with her daughter and another woman, I guess, in there talking to him. But for 2 hours, and to know that they're there and not to come out and say to them, "Hey, I'll be with you," or something.
It's like she couldn't face them.
Exactly. That's how I take it.
Yeah, no, I get it. I can absolutely welcome Schmooby and Christy. Thank you for joining us. We're on the phone right now with Kelly in regards to her situation she unfortunately has to deal with recently. Again, Kelly, I think, okay, like, I don't want you to have to talk about certain things. I don't want you.
You're fine.
Okay.
You're fine. Took a gun. He woke up that morning. He took a gun and took his life.
And that was it. There were no surrounding circumstances before that, or anything that you know of.
I mean, he was upset about his son.
Yeah.
But that was about it. I mean, he'd been dealing with that for a minute, and I guess the son showed up while they were down there, and of course he looks thinner and stuff, so he's been thinking around with drugs or whatever. But
right.
For him to be so distraught over his son doing this and giving up baseball is not reason enough.
Not to do that. No, not even.
He would be like, okay, Dad, the son of a bitch is on drugs. I'm going to get him. I'll stand by him and make sure we get through this together. Like, he wouldn't just desert him. So that's what leads me to believe there's something more.
Well, that's my next question to you. Was there any kind of history of any type of mental health that you know of?
Mm-mm.
Nothing like that. Okay. What about like as as in character, what type of a person was he?
Oh my God, he was the most funnest, most best dude ever. Like the greatest guy. Like so funny, so hilarious, so loving, so accepting, so helpful, so just an amazing. Like he was one of a kind.
Right.
He was amazing.
Right. Did he have, personality wise? Did he have a strong?
Fun, outgoing.
Okay.
Always wanting to go out and do things.
Okay, so he wasn't an introvert typically and stuff like that. Okay.
Definitely an athlete. Loved, spending time with his kids. Loved spending time with his family. Just a great person. I just can't even describe what an amazing person he was. That's why it's so odd.
I get it, and that's definitely not somebody with that type of a personality or a background like that is not going to do something like that over something so minute,
Yeah, sorry, excuse my language, but yeah,
no, it's
something more.
It's great. I mean, I've been through that with my oldest son. Everybody knows that, and I
got his shit together, and he's doing good for years now.
Right.
Yeah, you don't end your life over.
That's what you do, right?
Somebody not wanting to play baseball when your heart's in it, like that's just not him.
No. You put your head on. You put on your parents' shoes and your gloves, and you go to work, and you fix the kid, and then you go back to your life. That's how that works.
Yep, that's exactly what we did. And with him, like that's just, he would stand by his side. I mean, that's why he was meeting him to go give him food and things like that, because he wouldn't listen, but he still wanted to make sure he was taken care of.
Yeah.
That's why it's so odd that he would do something like that and just leave his kid when he's in a bad situation like this. Like that's just so odd.
And that's
really, I've never met her, the wife.
Okay.
Because I haven't seen him for some years, but my brother has always been in contact with him. But
that was my next question. Has he ever talked about her to anybody that you know of and anything about her?
Nope.
Okay.
And it was just, I mean, they always see each other at Christmas and stuff too, and everything just seems to be just fine. But it's just Troy, my other brother was telling me, he's like, his heart had to have been broken, truly broken to bring him to this. And I was like, it just doesn't add up.
From what I know about that type of a thing, and everybody's situations are different in a lot of ways, but you have to feel, or you almost feel, like there's no point anymore. There's nothing left. There's no. There's
I have been there, but I don't have the nuts to pull the trigger.
Right.
You know what I mean? It takes a lot to do that.
No, I understand. My first wife, I found out that she was basically sleeping with everybody in the county except for me. So, I was and she, at that point in time of my life, I was still blinded by what I felt for her and, the fact that she was my children's mother, and that was a very strong feeling for me. So at one point I had thoughts, like, what else do I have? If she's gone, then my kids are going to be gone. And it's not I was losing that family
structure and stability.
And that was what I lived for. Exactly. So that to me, it was very heartbreaking to me. And I just felt like, okay, what do I have left? Luckily, my love for my children was stronger than my listless feeling. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And I've been in a way bad situation where I had to sacrifice my life with my kids in order to make sure that we didn't all end up dead. And it was an ugly deal. And I mean, I had to jump state to state, shelter to shelter, because I woke up with a gun to my head from a psycho-abusive relationship, and my kids were right down the hall. And up around DV because I had seen what it had already done to my other son.
Absolutely.
And so I had to make the choice of walking away and letting grandparents take him. I mean, they're still in my life every day, but it's still a circumstance that you do what you have to do for your kids.
I understand.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it sounds to me like there may be some kind of a guilt thing going on there.
To not call them is just so odd, and then to leave them waiting for so long,
that's a very weird situation. I'm sorry, I agree with you. It really is. I don't know the type of person she is, so we don't know how strong she is. We don't know if she's, maybe she doesn't deal with those kinds of things. Have a good day, Popper. Thanks for jumping in. Maybe she doesn't handle that type of thing very well, and she had a breakdown herself. You know, it still doesn't
excuse it.
right. I'm not saying that at all by any means, but like I said, I do know people that don't handle that type of situation at all, and maybe she couldn't think of. And I'm not making excuses for her.
Yeah, I want to know. I just want a different light.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of maybe why. You know, um, maybe she just couldn't bring herself to face them because he's no longer there, and maybe she's worried they were going to blame her. You know, why didn't you stop this? Where were you? And that is a good question. Where was she when this went on? You know, that's the thing. So, you know, if he's grieving, if she's grieving, I'm sorry, people do break down. Yes, movie. That's what I'm saying. You know, people do strain. My wife, listen, when we lost, I think I've told some of you guys, the plant that I have back there is named after my best friend because it was her plant. We watched her deteriorate for a year and then pass away from cancer. And this was my best friend for 41 years and my wife's best friend. Okay. And my wife, I've dealt with grief or death a lot more because of my job and things like that. Okay. Right. My wife doesn't really handle it like I do. This is the point that I'm trying to make, is that, you know, she broke down completely and she could not, it took her like 8, 9 months to come to some sort of terms with it. She wasn't accepting it, you guys, at all. Welcome, April. Good to see you so much. Thank you so much for being here.
You were done. I mean, accepting the fact that what?
That our friend had passed. They were very close. Okay, yeah. I mean, this girl she was part of my family, basically. Okay. And my wife was not accepting it. She just every day she started drinking a lot more than what she normally would, and it just she could not. Every day this conversation was the same. You know, I miss her. I need to talk to her. I can't. We both went through it in different ways. She was sending text messages to her still, and Facebook messages to her, and this. I mean, it's very sad, and it was hard for me to watch. And I had to be the stronger person in the relationship because she couldn't handle it, and it was hard for me too. So it was doubly hard, if you know what I'm trying to say. I mean, we eventually broke through, and we still struggle with it though. You know, this time of year it's very hard because she was a very, very big part of our lives. Right. But like when it came, the reason why I'm explaining this like this, because when it came down to like her uncle, Angie, I'm speaking about my friend Angie, her uncle was, her father passed when she was like 9 or 10 from the same thing she inherited from him. It was a very rare form of cancer. And you don't know you have it until it's too late. And there's nothing you can do about it. No matter what you do, it does not go away. It's one of those things. Yeah. So, and Angie knew that. Okay. And she knew when she was diagnosed with it. And she told us a different story than what she was telling, than what she was being told, because she didn't want us to be upset because that's how close we were. She loved us that much that she figured we would just break down and would be, you know, fall all over her and would nonstop, you know, just you know what I'm trying to say. And she feel
like when somebody lies, there's a reason because they want to hide some shit, and I'm not down with that. Like I think there's whether they're trying to save face for themselves,
yeah,
or trying to hurt for the others, it brings on more problems.
It does. It does, because when she
then you start questioning shit.
Yeah.
You know what's real,
yeah, you know? And when she didn't tell us the truth about this, we were angry with her.
Oh yeah.
We were angry because it changed the situation. You know, she's telling us, "Oh, I'm doing these treatments and things are getting better and I'm going to get better." And we're feeling like, okay, that's good. She's going to be here next year. And then she wasn't, because that's not what was going on. And she just didn't want us to worry. And so we were angry. You know, we damned her when it happened. Like, why didn't you tell us? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? You know, and again, the whole point to this is to explain that different people handle things different ways, that, you know,
in what is this behavior people have noticed before? Is this, but to me it just says guilt.
It does come off guilty, I'll give you that much. And again, I don't know this woman from Adam, so I can't tell you her person.
do I.
Yeah, and that's the hard part, is not knowing the type of person she is, her personality, and how she does handle things in life. So and unfortunately, you didn't get to have those conversations with your brother to know the type of person she is. If that was something that he had expressed to you over the years, well, she has trouble handling this, she has trouble doing this or that, then maybe it would be more understandable. But that never happened. So therefore, at this point, it just looks like she's shielding guilt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And I agree.
I think that I can't. I kind of wonder if maybe perhaps there was an affair. Just to say, I hate to point, but maybe there was, and maybe that's why the son is off the hook now, and maybe that's what took Gino, and like it just domino effect. It seems. You know
It's
what I mean?
very,
I wonder if
yeah.
what
That's
messed up on all of a sudden. Why Gino's gone now? Like, and she just can't face everybody now because when everything's going on. When I heard the first of it, I was blaming the son almost, and I was like, "Wait a minute, it's not his fault. Like he's fucking up, but it's not. There's got to be something more.
Yeah.
Like there's got to be something more because he ain't gonna do that, and he ain't gonna do that just because of something like his son, being off the hook. Like that just doesn't. He wouldn't leave him, desert him. He goes,
no. In fact, if he's a good parent, which he sounds like he was, you would do the opposite of that exactly. You're gonna want to be around to do that for him. So it's very weird situation again, and it does make me think. What guilt are you covering up for? What did you do that you're guilty of?
He obviously does feel guilty, and like it's her fault, maybe. Like
right. And
I know if I was in that situation. Both of my husband's kids or parents are dead now, but if that was my situation, they would be the first people I call. Like first.
Just out of respect, yes.
Not my mom first, not I call their parents first.
Yeah.
Like, and to just not call them at all, and then leave them holding on. It has to be that she feels guilty because she fucked up or done something.
Exactly, I agree. Now, were there any other children, or is that just the one child that was involved in the home?
No. So the son that was off the hook, the daughter is the one that called with the news or whatever.
Okay.
And then she has two others from a previous marriage.
Okay. Now,
two or three, I can't remember.
Has anybody,
adopted them or something? So
no, I get it. Has anybody spoke to the daughter to see what her input is, possibly?
Not too much yet. Just the fact that she called and let them know what was going on.
I mean, I'm sure at this point,
Hell has been really hidden. There, like Sierra, when she called, I guess, and said what was going on, called his parents. Everything's been really sparse and scarce, like little tiny tidbits of information, nothing clear, nothing. He just said, I guess she called and said, yeah, Gino's gone. Don't want to talk about how, but just know that he's gone. So we didn't even know exactly how everything went down until yesterday. They didn't go into any detail about him. We just knew he was gone, and we didn't know how, why, or what. Like that's how thin.
Yeah, that's.
It's been.
Do you know the relationship that he had with the daughter?
Great. She was actually the one he texted. I don't know if he texted any others, but I know definitely he texted her and said, "I love you, goodbye."
And where was she when this all happened?
I think she was at home or at school.
At school, maybe. How old is she?
Oh wait, how old is she? I'm trying to remember. She's well, see, the boy is like 18 or 19, and then I don't know where she was. She was either at her home or their home. I'm thinking because I'm thinking she was at their house.
Okay. How well do you know her yourself?
I don't. I've never met her.
Okay. Maybe give it a little time, okay? Because
there's Monday, so it's going to be an interesting time to fill everybody out.
Yeah, there's that. I was gonna say that. Good morning, Earthly. But give it a little time for some mourning process to happen, and then reach out and offer condolences to her and feel her out and maybe have a conversation with her and see what she might actually know about that day and or the days before, and maybe you can get some answers that way. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't do it right away just because there's still that mourning period, but and she's probably in shock a bit too, I'm going to say. Let her get over some of that, and then that's what I would do, Kelly, honestly, is I would reach out and say, hey, hon, I'm sorry, so sorry that this happened, and maybe share some memories with her that you have with him. And just feel out how she is, and then maybe get into a conversation with her and say, hey, what if I can ask you this, like, well, what was it like a couple days before this and that day and this and that, and maybe you can get some answers from her.
Right, and I'm sure my brother might know a little bit more too. He's, like I said, he's seen him every Christmas and stuff. So
okay,
I've been going over memories and stuff with my brother this morning, and it's amazing how many things you forget until they're brought back up, then you remember. But I think that's why it's been tough, because he was a huge part of my childhood. I haven't had him in my adulthood, but then Troy just told me a bunch of stuff that Gino always told him to tell me, and he never told me. So I want to smack the shit out of him.
Oh, I get, yeah.
Well, why didn't you ever tell me these things? Like, he's like, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Sometimes you don't think about it till it's too late.
So much, and
he
wasn't on the same. He didn't think what was being right, how I could come and you wouldn't. Because my dad used to be a son of a bitch. He would leave me crying in the rocks in the driveway to take me, and would take my brother. And so that was the big issue. He's always rejected me my entire life. And so, of course, that brought on a whole thing of problems for myself, is always thinking I needed the approval of a man. And,
right. No, I get it.
A bunch of bullshit, you know what I mean? But I guess Gino never felt like that was right, because I just assumed maybe he was on the same train, but he was such a good guy. I never believed that, you know what I mean? My dad just always shunned me, and so I get to see that son of a bitch Monday. That's going to be fun. But
yeah.
It's just all the things that, he told me that he had said meant a lot, and I was like, well, that's good. But just going over those memories is when I struggled. But like I said, my whole life,
for now, at this point, you know it now, and he knows that you know it now, because where he is now. So, and you'll know that. Just keep that in your heart and understand that, he knows how you felt about him, and he knows how he felt about you, and that's what's important is your guys's, what's in your heart, guys. So that, will help you, in my mind at least, and it's helped me in the past to deal with certain things. So
well, thank you guys. I appreciate all your guys' input.
Absolutely. And like I said, Kelly, you're welcome to call me anytime. If you're just feeling down, you just need somebody to vent to, you want to call and scream at me because you're angry, or you want to call and cry, whatever, I'll sit here and listen, because that's what I do. And I absolutely have no worries with that.
Thank you so much. You guys have a great day, and I'll keep you guys updated.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here today. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you, Miss Heather. And again, that goes for any of you guys. If you guys ever just need to talk, or you need somebody to vent to, like I said, if you're angry and you just want to scream at somebody to get it all out, go ahead, call me. I'll take it. And that's that. No worries, no problems, no nothing, guys. That's what I'm here for. Thank you once again, Miss Heather, for that. I appreciate it. And thank you all for listening to Kelly's situation, and offering, the comments you've offered. I appreciate that as well. And thank you again, Miss Kelly, for calling so much. Very much appreciated. And prayers go out to you from all of us, to you and your family. Very much so. So it's okay, Molly. You're welcome to call me anytime you want, my dear. You know that. The only time I'm not going to answer, guys, is if I'm in the bathroom, and that's just respect. So don't expect that one. Dates are nuts. Oh, yeah. So that's the best advice I could offer you on that, Kelly. And I'm really, that's what I would do, is give it a little time. Obviously, you're going to have to deal with the funeral and stuff like that. Kind of give some time for the shock to wear off, and then call her. And you may get some answers that you're not expecting, if she's an outgoing person and willing to talk about things. Like I said, the best way to do it is to share some memories, and and lighten up the situation and the mood a little bit, and then have that conversation, and it may help. Absolutely, Molly, you know that. Let me double check something here. Well, I hope Lisa's doing okay. Like I said, she's sick too, so throw some prayers her way too, guys, that she's feeling better. That's back, Karen. That's what family does, and I consider you guys family, so that's what we do. We take care of each other. So, um, before I got started, does anybody else have anything they wanted to discuss beforehand or get into before I got into the other thing that we were going to look at? I'm sure you guys all know what's going on uh, with the University of Idaho. It's a very sad situation, very sad. Um, where are we at, Daisy? What did you just say? Who are you talking about, Daisy, with that last comment you made? Who was that in reference to, Daisy? I went back to see if I missed something, and I didn't. I didn't quite see something that made sense with that. CJ. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, 100%. I absolutely get that one. Yes, and they happen often, and that worries me as well. I was talking about. I'm sorry, guys. When I said Lisa, I meant Lisa Bevins. The lady that co-hosts with me a lot. She's sick. Yeah, she messaged me this morning and said she was sick. So that's who I meant. And of course, always prayers for crime and justice. She does have her own things that she deals with on a regular basis. So yes, no, no, no. It's okay though, Daisy, because I pray for all you guys. I really do. So just for whoever you're thinking of, and just add another one too. That's all, guys. Um. Oh, damn it. I'm sorry, Molly. Good Lord. I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, Crime and Justice is a sweet person. She's a very sweet woman. I love her to death. She's been through a lot of hell, you guys, and I feel so bad about that. And it drives me insane. I've thought about some of the things she's had to deal with, and I've seen other people go at her about some of the things she's dealt with in her life, and it really makes me angry. Um, and then, on top of that, yes, she does have the seizures and stuff. So I do worry about her as a person because I think she's a very sweet woman. She's very good at what she does, and she's got a beautiful heart, and she deserves the very best that life can offer her at this point. And I don't think she gets that all the time. Oh, absolutely, Kelly. At any time, like I said, you're more than welcome to give me a call, message, whatever you need to do. And thank you for joining us here today. And you're always welcome in here, always, and you know that. So I consider you part of the family. So thank you so much for being here today. Yeah, I wouldn't handle that well either, Daisy. I wouldn't at all. Not at all. Excuse me, everyone, for one moment. I'm sorry. I have to use the restroom. I'll be right back. Alrighty, guys. Sorry about that. Check up, make sure I got everything. Oh, damn, Sherry, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better as well. I don't mind talking to all you guys for any reason whatsoever. I love you guys to death and would do anything for any one of you that I possibly could. If anybody is checking up on crime and justice, please. Nope, you're not talking to me today. Please let her know that I'm thinking of her and I hope she's doing well. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that very much. So. I haven't seen Holly in a while. I hope she's doing okay. No, she was here yesterday. Yeah, she was. Thank you, Lance. I appreciate that as well. JT Daisy is Jim Terry. I don't like saying his name, but that's who JT is. Yes, he's not a. You don't really want to see what he's all about, Daisy. He's bad stuff. Bad stuff. Carol, welcome. Good to see you. Texas, huh? I heard that place was even cold today. Thank you all for joining me once again. I appreciate you guys being here very much so. But again, guys, today I was going to go into the sad situation at the University of Idaho. The four children, in my opinion, they're four kids that were unalived. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I heard it was pretty cold there, which is weird for Texas. I know my friend Morticia, she's probably loving it right now because she hates the hot weather in Texas. So thank you, Heather. I appreciate that, sis. But yeah, this situation is very sad, you guys, and it's kind of strange. I don't know how many of you guys know about it. I'm sure everybody does. It's everywhere. Oh yeah. He's not a good person. They will let you know right off the bat. Definitely not a good person. Oh, okay. So you're more up north. Got you. I gotcha. So let's see here. I will give you guys, for those of you that aren't super familiar, yeah, Texas is just too hot. Humidity is crazy. Oh yeah, Daisy, he does it every time he gets a chance. Hello, Vicky. Good to see you. Yeah, it is very strange for it to be cold there. It's cold everywhere right now. We're getting dumped on with snow. A lot of places are locked down because of snow. So, see, I couldn't handle Texas. It's just too hot. I don't like the heat, guys.
Yes, so many unanswered questions.
I don't like the heat at all. It just is not my thing. Let's see here. All right. It's too really. Arizona's bad too. Yes. That's an understatement, Daisy. He's a lot more than that, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. So. It's in the 20s here. It's 20. I think at the low last night was like 22. The high is supposed to be 28. So it is what it is. It's wintertime, and that's all it is. So, all right, guys, I'm going to put this up for you guys to check out. I'm sure you guys have all seen and heard this. Quite a few of you guys, but at the same time, some of you guys may not have. So we're going to check this out, and then we'll move on and talk a little more about it. So lots of snow everywhere around here. And we didn't get the snow everywhere around here. Got it yesterday around me. Everything around me but me got it yesterday. And now today it's all over the place here. Thank you, Miss Heather. Absolutely. All right. It is cold for sure. I got the... See, our roads aren't bad, but they pre-salted everything, and it's really not sticking a lot on the roads because there's still that heat from over the summer that, the ground absorbs. But Mama Bear, so good to see you. We have missed you as well. Thank you for joining today. It's great to see you. Good to have you here. But I'm going to play this, guys. We're going to hit just the generalization of this so everybody knows that doesn't know if you don't know, and just get the generalization of it, and then we'll go into some other things with it. If you can't hear it or have any issues, please yell at me right away so I can fix it for you. And we're off. Probably hope you had some
The FBI is involved in the investigation to bring justice to the victim.
It's now been 3 days since 4 University of Idaho students were found dead inside an off-campus home.
And this morning, we now know the FBI is involved in the investigation to bring justice to the victims and their families. Crime 2's Nicole Hernandez joining us now from the newsroom with the very latest in this investigation. Nicole, you've been covering this story for the last few days now, and you have not stopped asking police for more answers. What do you know at this hour?
So, Tim Channing, Moscow police sent us 2 updates yesterday. The first one here said police did not find a weapon at the house, but they believe a knife was used to kill 4 students. The second update here were the sleeper patients saying they told us as much as they can at this point. So here's a breakdown of everything they have told us. Just before noon on Sunday, police got a call for an unconscious person. When they showed up, they found the 4 bodies of University of Idaho students. Again, police now say they think, quote, an edged weapon like a knife was used in the killing. They did not find a weapon at the scene, and they do not have a suspect. That evening, officers called Lehigh County Coroner Kathy Mabbitt to the house. She says in her 16 years as coroner, she's seen multiple victim homicides twice, but never seen 4 victims at the same crime scene.
Well, there was a lot of blood. It was, it's a very sad scene.
Mabbitt says Lehigh County is contracting out the body's autopsies. Once Spokane County completes those autopsies, we should have more information on the official manner and cause of death. She's also waiting on toxicology reports. Mabbitt says those could take 4 to 6 weeks to come back, but she does not think that report will change the manner or cause of death. And we've, of course, had several of us in Moscow for days now, and all of them heard and felt the worry coming from the community. Moscow pleaded for incident and said there is no threat to the rest of the community. In the newsroom, Nicole Hernandez, Crime 2 News.
Well, all across Moscow, memorials are being set up for the victims. If you drive into town, you'll see this one in front of you.
Hold on a minute. 1 second. Okay, everybody. And again, that is just the generalization of it. 1 second, everyone. Let me set this up. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm getting this set up here for you. My apologies. Trying to make it work. Okay. Now, this is kind of an interesting piece of information, in my opinion, for sure. And we'll see what we got here. Yeah, that's what scares me as well, April. I mean, I don't live there, but it's scary for people that do live there because they don't really have a suspect, and that's weird. Um, so whoever did this knew what they were doing in a sense. So there's something in this video that I wanted you guys to see, though. There's, I think you guys were talking about it in chat here a little bit, and it's kind of important to me, and I know that's got to be somebody of interest that they're looking at. So I'll go ahead and play this, and right, and that's the other part, Carol. That it's just this is another weird one. The way this is working out, so the whole thing's a little sketchy, in my opinion.
More than 3 days since 4 University of Idaho students and residents being searched for their own safety. But that is hardly reassuring for the rattled community or for the victims' families who are vowing to find the assailant. Now, just surfaced surveillance video is helping piece together a timeline of the hours leading up to the slayings. Here's Stephen Fabian.
It's chilling video of 2 University of Idaho students hours before they were brutally.
Now, see that? This is kind of creepy to me. In a lot of ways. This was literally an hour or so. That's Kaylee and Madison. Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison, I think it's Mogan is how you pronounce it. They were out at a bar. They were, enjoying themselves. Welcome, Bonnie. Good to have you here. And decided to go to a food truck. And if you pay attention, they're going to show you there's a person that was watching this go on, that was actually watching them. It makes me a little nervous, so I'll let you guys see it.
We murdered Kaylee Gonzalez in the white hoodie and her friend Madison Mogan on your campus. One man appears to be watching 3 a.m. After ordering, Maddie sees a friend and embraces him. When their food comes, Kaylee takes a short video to post on social media, and they walk off together. Look, the man gestures towards them and then heads in the same direction. It's believed police know who he is.
See, that's a little weird to me, honestly, especially with this happening.
Kaylee's sister Olivia watched the video.
Kaylee was aware of her surroundings, maybe a little overly aware, which is also why all of this is so confusing to us, because
welcome, Beta.
Kaylee's
Good to
not
see you.
Stupid.
Thanks
She's
for
a
joining
smart girl.
us.
She's a strong girl. She's a mean girl. She's a fighter.
The night began at around 10:30 p.m. when the friends took an Uber to a downtown bar called the Corner Club. It was a party atmosphere, with Kaylee and Madison described as being in good spirits. They left a little after 1 a.m., and that's when they stopped by the food truck. 1:56 a.m., the girls take an Uber home. They were stabbed to death between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. that morning, along with their friends Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodal.
Very interesting how 4 students can.
They were actually at, I think, as the autopsy came back, it was a little after 2 that they were actually assaulted. And it is way more than a coincidence. I agree, Carol. Again, I don't know if you heard me, but welcome, Veda. So great to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Can be overcome by one person with a knife, not a gun.
One possibility being explored is that the students were all sleeping when they were slain. The medical examiner described the crime scene inside the 6-bedroom house as horrifying.
It was very, very traumatic.
Have you seen anything like that before?
No.
Police have not identified any suspects and are appealing for calm today as frightened students flee the campus. We hear you and we understand your fears, police said in a statement. We do not believe there is an ongoing threat. Investigators say the murders were targeted. It's being called a possible crime of passion. Another theory is that it's a burglary gone wrong. They have ruled out murder-suicide. Kaylee and Madison were inseparable, lifelong friends. They grew up together, close as sisters. In a statement, Kaylee's family is speaking directly to the killer. We will find you. We will never stop. The pain you caused has fueled our hatred and sealed your fate. Ethan Chapin's parents are also speaking out.
There's not drugs involved. There's not some weird love triangle with the two guys forcing our kids because they should go on and shine Ethan's bright light on their own.
Murderer's friends for photo, along with 2 other students. Kaylee posted one unlucky girls around people a day.
A number of classes have been canceled indefinitely. One faculty member tweeting that he cannot in good conscience until the suspect in custody.
And I understand that. Now, the thing with this, you guys, that bugs me, and it's weird, as you all know, there were 2 other roommates in that home that survived this, that were not touched, that were not looked at, that were not woken up, that were nothing. They heard nothing, okay? Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funkon. That name was weird. But anyway, they woke up to this and had no clue, had heard nothing. I mean, this is weird, okay? Now, once it was verified that the it is Kyra, it's very horrific. Welcome, by the way. And now the Me Too, Heather, we're going to look into that too. Because the first thing I thought is how did they not hear something? Okay. Now, granted, I get everybody was sleeping. It was a little, where'd it go? Sometime after 2 a.m. They came home. Okay. Everybody came home at 1:45. Everybody returned home around 1:45. They must have went right to bed. And then shortly thereafter, that's sometime after 2, boom, this happened. Everybody must have been passed out. Okay. I mean, I get it. You know, you're out drinking or partying, whatever, you're going to go to sleep and you're passed out hard. So you're not going to hear a lot, maybe. But when the first person was attacked, I'm going to venture to say there was screaming. That would have woken anybody up, I would think. Nobody moved unless they were really that passed out. Okay. It's very possible, Squirrel. It is very possible. But they said that there were 3 levels and there was basically scenes on every level. Okay. They didn't even discover the body. Someone looked through a window and reported. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They were sleeping still. Everybody was sleeping. Well, the other 2 were sleeping, I should say. That's what I'm saying, Sherry. Someone had to make some noise, and that should have woken somebody else up. Unless they covered the mouths and then did what they did. And that's very possible. That's the only thing I can think of. And I still cannot imagine. Well, I said the same thing a lot of people are saying, that how the hell did one person deal with 4 people? But if they one at a time while they were sleeping, then yeah, it's very possible. It made me think, like, how did nobody wake up? You know, how did nobody hear somebody scream once the first thing started? So I'm curious, and I want to know more about Dylan and Bethany, the survivors that were in the house that made it through this. Okay, I really do, because it's just weird to me. It's very, very weird to me. How they didn't see, hear, and still hadn't woken up. I mean, I get somebody made a comment about college kids sleep all day if they can, and so on and so forth. You know, I get that. I get that very much so. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's it too, Carol. That's the only thing I can think of that would make sense to me as far as that's concerned. So hold on a minute, everybody. I'm trying to set something up. It's just not working.
Police Colonel Kendrick.
Okay. This is the presser for those of you that may not have seen it. Just to let you know what law enforcement is seeing on this and what's going on with it. Give you that real quick. Yeah, and they have been. That's the other thing too. And I get, that's great that they're being fully cooperative, you know. And they're not actually listed as suspects, but he did make a comment that nobody's ruled out at this point because they have nobody. So that's why, I guess. Yeah, that I agree, Veda, and that's the one thing I was looking at is they got the food, and that whole time they were staying at the food truck, that one guy with the hoodie on was staring at him, and then he like kind of like was talking to the guy next to him, and it kind of referenced with his hand towards them, and then he took off towards them, and I gotta know that they know who he is. They have to know who he is. Right, Sherry, I agree with you on that one too. I absolutely do. Again, guys, this is the presser from this. Just to give you guys that didn't see or hear, I know a lot of you guys have seen this probably 3-4 times already, and I'm sorry. I'm just trying to put it together, and I'm sorry that I'm just now getting to it. I was just trying to cover some other stuff. And it is very odd, Squirrel. Very odd. Yep, that's exactly what he did too, Carol. He gestured towards him with his hands, and he took off right behind him. And they're very pretty girls. They were very pretty girls. I can just imagine what he said, like, "Oh, check them out," or something like that, you know. And he wanted to go walk behind him. Whatever. I want to know what happened between that point and the time that they got home, and then when they walked in the door is what I want to know. I'm going to let you guys hear this real quick, and then we're going to go on to something else and talk a little bit more about these other two that survived. Yeah, I heard that as well, Vicky, which was a little alarming to me. Makes me wonder if there was somebody in the home already, hiding out, or what the scenario is. So, that's what we talked about yesterday, Lance, is being able to not ignore when things are going on. You got to step in sometimes, and whether it's our business or not, and say, hey, you know, yeah, he did definitely walk away with purpose. Like he was going somewhere for a reason, and he knew what it was. Well, that's crazy. They don't lock their doors. That doesn't make sense to me at all.
Here. My name is Chief James of the Moscow from my day, so I want the information you receive to be extremely accurate. We know you have questions, and so do we. That is why we're here. I'd like to thank everyone for attending this press conference. Joining me today is the Idaho County Prosecutor Bill Thompson, Idaho Scott Green, Provost and Vice President Tori Lawrence, Skiles, Chief Deputy of Latah County Tim Best, Idaho State Police Colonel Kedrick Wills. The Moscow Police Department would like to extend our condolences to all family members, friends, the University of Idaho, and the Moscow community. This was a horrible crime that took the lives of Ethan Chapman, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Goncalves. This horrible crime has affected all of us, the families, the University of Idaho, our community, our country, and our officers. Agencies that are involved in this task force include Latah County Sheriff's Office, the Idaho State Police, and the Federal Bureau of Investigations. As we continue our investigation, we have learned that Ethan and Xana were at a party on campus, and Madison and Kaylee were at a downtown bar. They arrived home sometime after 1:45. If anyone in our community or across our nation has any information about these times or the victim's whereabouts, please call our tip line at 208-883-7180. The facts of the case that we know right now. We know that these homicides occurred in the early morning hours of Sunday, November 13th. Around noon, Moscow officers received a call of an unconscious person. Officers discovered the bodies of
we've been here for over an hour, Joy. I try not to do it for too long beforehand. Yeah, I don't know. We've been going for, I didn't let it run that long this morning. I had everything together. I've been working on not doing that at all anymore. I want to be able to just start it do the intro and then jump right in. That's how it's going to be from here on out, you guys, just so you know. But I don't understand. Yeah, you may have had to refresh. That could be why. Oh, for me, oh, yeah, this is the only one I've had, but oh, all right, Kim, be careful out there. Be safe. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you, and we'll see you soon. Unless you were talking about another live, I don't know. But this one, we've been up and going nonstop for well over an hour. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on.
Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Yoncavs inside the residence on King Road. The four were stabbed with a knife, but no weapon has been located at this time. There was no sign of forced entry into the residence. Investigators are continuing to collect evidence at the scene. Investigators are working to develop a timeline to relevant events. Autopsies are taking place today on all the victims so we can continue to gather evidence and solve the crime. Investigators are working to follow up on all leads and to identify a person of interest. Based on details at the scene, we believe this was an isolated, targeted attack on our victims. We do not have a suspect at this time, and that individual is still out there. We cannot say that there's no threat to the community, and as we have stated, please stay vigilant, report any suspicious activity, and be aware of your surroundings at all times. What we do know, or what we don't know, excuse me, the identity and location of the suspect, the location of the knife or any clothing that was worn by the suspect. Currently, we have 25 plus investigators working this case, as well as assistance from the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Idaho State Police. We're reviewing video that has been collected, but we are asking citizens to contact us with any information you may have that will help in this investigation. Once again, we're asking anyone to call the tip line at 208-883-7180. At this time, I would like to introduce the University of Idaho President, Scott Green.
Thank you, Chief Fry. I'm Scott Green, President of the University of Idaho, and with me is Tori Lawrence. He's our provost, and Blaine Eccles, our dean of students, will be available for questions after all of the statements are made. The crime, to us, this crime and the loss of these young lives is just simply beyond comprehension. While our small community is certainly not immune to such things, it's not a situation our close-knit campus is used to dealing with. First, my deepest condolences to the families. And friends of Ethan, Kaylee, Xana, and Madison. Excuse me. Their loss has been devastating, and they were bright lights in our community and are deeply missed and remain in our thoughts and our prayers. We've been working with Moscow Police since we were notified on Sunday of the crime. We've helped when asked and continually push for information whenever possible, knowing that we cannot interfere with the important work and good investigations that are occurring. We just want justice for these victims. Our focus at the university is to support our students and our employees. We are encouraging students and employees to take care of themselves as we head into Thanksgiving break. I want to take a moment to commend our faculty and staff who have been on the front lines helping our students, whether that is providing counseling to those in need of support, accommodating those who want to travel home, or engaging those who find comfort in staying busy interacting with their peers and our instructors in class. Our employees stepped up when our students needed them. While we have relied heavily on the expertise of Moscow Police, we feel confident that remaining open with flexibility to leave allows our students to decide what is best for them. The weeks ahead will continue to challenge us as this loss and the circumstances around this crime become known. We will support each other as we grieve, and we'll move through this together as a Vandal family. Thank you.
I'd like to have Colonel Kedrick Wills come to the podium, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Kedrick Wills. I serve as the director of the Idaho State Police. And as we have this discussion today, I'd like to express my appreciation for your attendance here, because it's important, vitally important, that we get the information that we have out to the public. Crime knows no boundaries, and these murders have shaken us to our very core. You heard the university president as well as the chief of police talk about this small community, and it's a very close, tight-knit community. And our hearts break for the families that lost their loved ones. the University of Idaho, the Moscow community, and even within our entire state. Be assured, the Idaho State Police is firmly in support of the work that the Moscow Police Department is doing, and we are providing every resource that we can to make sure that this comes to a conclusion, and that the person or people that this is responsible are brought to justice. It's so important that you understand that this takes a team effort. This is teamwork with the university, with this Moscow City Police Department, the Lake Tahoe County Sheriff's Office, the Idaho State Police, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. It takes everybody to be able to do this, and it's a balancing act. It's a balancing act of getting the community the information that they need to have with making sure that we provide a case that the Lake Tahoe County Prosecutor's Office can go forward with. Governor Little, Idaho's governor, full weight of all the resources we have within our state are available to Chief Fry and his team. Our crime lab is also involved with processing evidence, and our law enforcement throughout the region, state and federal agencies continue to provide resources. From the Idaho State Police's perspective, we provided detectives here from this area, as well as detectives from out of the area, state police detectives, as well as patrol resources and communications assistance as well to provide for Chief Fry and his team. Following this briefing, our communications director from the Idaho State Police, Aaron Snell, if you'd raise your hand, Aaron, he will be the contact for all press media inquiries from here on out. He'll be working closely with Chief Fry and his team. And we have additional, like I said, additional patrol and investigation resources brought to bear here as well. We want to do everything we can to make sure that this is done correctly and that the people that are responsible for this are brought to justice.
Good.
So at this time, I'm going to open it up to some questions that I'm sure you have, and we'll do the best we can to answer those for you.
No worries right now.
Look, Chief Ray.
I'm sorry you're not feeling well.
I'm Amanda Rowley with Creme 2 News. You mentioned that there's an indication that it's an isolated, targeted incident, and there is an individual somewhere. Can you give us a reason as to why there's that belief there is a suspect? And you also give a little more information on the forced entry. There's no sign of forced entry, but was the door, did it seem like any of the entries were left unlocked by any means?
I'll answer the last part there just because it's at the front end of my mind. We're not sure the door was unlocked, but there was no damage to anything, and the door was still open when we got there.
And my first question, if you'd like me to read.
No, I think I have it. In these cases, we take the totality of the things that we see, and they're very dynamic, right? And they're very big, and there's a lot of information, and we try to take that information, and some of it we can't share with you, correct? But we try to take that information, we try to make the best educated decision we can. We review that as a team with our detectives, along with our prosecutors, along with the university, and we try to make that best decision on that. So we, at that time, believe that there was no threat, and our goal is to provide safety for this community. That's why we're bringing in the resources we're bringing. We want it close to this, and we want to do everything we can to let the people in our community know that we care. We want them to feel safe. We want them to be safe, and we're going to do everything we can to do that.
I think I could add one more question. You asked for videos or anything from the community to help put together that timeline. We obtained a copy of Twitch video, and family members of the Gonsalves family were able to identify Maddie and Kaylee in those videos at a food truck ordering food. Is the police department, our investigators, aware of that video, and has it helped put together that timeline?
We are aware of that video, and it has helped. It gives us a time and space where we know that two of our victims were, and that helps us a ton, and we'll continue to follow up all leads that we can and continue to gather those.
Any indication of a party at the home that night?
This will be the last one, okay, I understand. Not that we know of, not at the home. We know that the other, let me get the names exactly right here. We know that Zana and Ethan were at a different party on campus, but that timeline will still help us if other people know about that.
Thank you.
Chief Wright, John Webb with KHQ. On September 12th, there was a vandal alert that was sent out about a potential stabbing threat on Paradise Path. Does this have any connection with what we've seen so far?
Not that we know of it, but we're following up every lead. Every piece of information we get, we are following up to ensure that nothing has gone unturned. We want to have the individual identified, who is the suspect of this eventually. So we are
Good Lord, you guys are all sick. Listen. Vitamin C. Eat vitamin C like it's going out of style. That's the best thing you can do right now. Tear it up. I got 2 huge bottles of it. And stay away from people. the best you can. That's all I can say, guys. I'm so sorry that you guys are all sick. I hope you feel better soon as well, Raynona. Yeah, all you guys, don't breathe on each other in here. Let's keep each other, the rest of us, healthy. So, no close hugs or kisses or none of that stuff, guys. That's why, yes, Molly's right. Zinc as well. Vitamin C, D, and zinc. I take 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day, and I take a zinc. I can't remember the milligrams on that. Every day, ever since COVID started. Sometimes I eat elderberry. Yeah, that's true. Honey lemon, hot tea, all that stuff. It'll help, guys. And there, you guys understand why this is happening. Not to get off subject real quick. Yes, I do the elderberry as well. I have they're chewables. They're like a elderberry extract. It works. It does help, guys. The reason why this is happening is because with COVID being the way it was, guys, everybody is so not used to getting sick. We've stayed away from each other for so long. Now all of a sudden people are back in the vicinity with each other, and these other sicknesses are popping up. And that's why, our immune systems aren't built up to where they were to fight these things off, because nobody's had these things because we've stayed away from each other. So everybody's immune systems are down, and they're catching these things and they're getting them hardcore. So take care of yourselves, guys. Get the right sleep. Stay away from people the best you can. I hate to say that, but it's a fact. Yeah, the elderberry extract, the chewables, they work. Vitamin C, zinc, vitamin E. Do what you got to do. Take a cocktail every day if you got to, because that's what I do. And it is what it is, guys. It's sad, and I hate seeing all you guys sick like this, because this flu thing is going around is not good. Like I said, Heather's little one, or both of them, are now sick with this respiratory thing. My grandson, the youngest one, he had a double ear infection, and he still got a cough. My other granddaughter that you guys saw this morning, she's got a cough. It's just bad. That's how I didn't end up catching COVID. Yeah, I mean, we got to do it, guys. Yeah, I do too, Shmooby. I stay the hell away from anybody that I can. Vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc every day. Good Lord, April. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say a giant prayer for all you guys then. Get better, please. Knock on wood. I had COVID this time last year. So I got COVID last year on November 3rd. And I did not get rid of COVID until December 2nd. That's how long I had it, you guys. It was crazy. And it hit me hard. Real hard. Oh, yeah, Carol, you don't want to deal with that with those, no. Yeah, if you have any kind of other issues going on in your life, diabetes, Parkinson's, anything, guys, you stay away from people, period. It's sad, but it's true. So again, I hope you all feel better. I'm sorry I interrupted. I just wanted to make that comment real quick. But if you guys haven't done it, go get some vitamin C, elderberry, vitamin D, whatever you can grab, and just start loading up on it, guys, and stay the hell away from everybody else. Not flu, you just have a cold. Well, here's the thing, though, Raynona, you got to watch, because colds have been turning into really bad respiratory things. And, I just don't want to see that happen to anybody. Not at all. So just be safe. And do what you got to do and treat your symptoms. And that's really the best thing you can do. Hot tea. Hell, taking a teaspoon of molasses helps. It helps with your immune system as well. Just whatever you can think of, do it. Make sure you're eating healthy. A lot of vegetables will help in a lot of ways too. If you can eat vegetables, some people can't eat them. I love vegetables, so I eat them constantly. Just take care of yourselves. That's all. Oh yeah, the headache was no joke. No joke. Yep, I have breakthrough COPD, asthma, whatever you want to call it. as well. So yeah, it was rough. Very hard. Not a joke. The headache killed me. I was dizzy and lightheaded. I couldn't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The adults are getting RSV too. It's crazy. So yeah, it's not fun, guys. We're not used to getting sick. For 2 years, we stayed away from everybody, and there was no, we had no germs around us. Everybody was sanitizing everything and cleaning everything and spraying everything. No, I get it, Molly. I get it. Yep, there you go. There you go, Vicky. Be smart, that's all.
Literally looking into every aspect of everything.
You guys have said repeatedly there's no threat to the public, but we don't know who the suspect is. We don't know where he's at. How is there no threat to the public at this point?
Well, that's kind of an unknown. Like I said, we took the information we had at the time, but we do need to be aware. The individual is still out there, right? We need to be vigilant. We need to watch out for our neighbors. We're a community policing community. We've said that for years, and it's a community that watches out for each other. We need to continue to do that until we can close this off and make an arrest.
Why has there been such limited information over the past couple of days? I mean, we're almost 4 days into this. Why has it been so limited?
It's a difficult. We have a lot of information coming in, and we have tried to push out some information through press releases. But the reality is, I probably should have been standing here a day or so ago, but I'm here now. We're going to continue to be here. We're going to continue to give you the information we can. We care about this community. I care about this community. I've worked here for 27 years. I want this community to be the safest community around. So
the mayor's called it a crime of passion. Is there any indication that that's true?
We're looking into every aspect of this. I'm not going to stipulate whether it's one thing or another. We're going to continue to investigate until we have the facts, because really it's the facts that will derive what the cause of this is. And as we gather evidence, we'll get that. So
one last question, if I could, Chief. Have we looked at any boyfriends or any ex-boyfriends, any spouses as a potential suspect?
I will tell you, we're looking at everyone. Every tip we get, every lead we get, there's no one that we're not going to talk to. There's no one we're not going to interview. There's no one that we're not going to look into. And we're going to do our due diligence. We're going to make sure that nothing goes unturned. We do everything we can with the assistance of all the resources we have to get a final answer.
Thanks, Chief.
So there were, sorry, I'm Matt Everly with this book's interview. Hi. So there were other roommates who lived at that residence. Were the roommates home at the time of the attack?
There was other people home at that time, but we're not just focusing just on them. We're focusing on everybody that may be coming and going from their residence.
So since they were home, was it a hostage situation?
No, it was not.
And then they didn't call it into police, so were they injured?
They were not injured, but like I said, we're still following up with everybody that could have been in that area.
And how can you say it's a targeted attack if you don't have a suspect?
Like I said, we take the totality of the situation. We try to make the best bit of information we can with everything that comes in, and then we make our decision off of that. So at this time, I'm not going to expand upon that. But like I've said, we do have out somewhere, and we are looking for that individual to solve this.
Hi, Rachel Sun, Northwest Public Broadcasting. I just want to clarify something you said earlier. Over the past couple of days, the information that we've been getting is there's not a threat to the public. And earlier I heard you say you can't be assured that there is no threat. I just want to clarify what your stance is on that at this time.
So we still believe it's a targeted attack, but the reality is there's still out there who committed 4 horrible crimes. So I think we got to go back to there is a threat out there still, possibly. We don't know. We don't believe it's going to be to anybody else, but we all have to be aware of our surroundings and make sure that we're watching out for each other.
Okay, and then one other follow-up. I know you said when the call came in, it was for an unconscious person, and also that was a stabbing. It seems, just from an outside perspective looking in, like that would be not the first thing a person calling in would think.
You're right. But the report that we got was that it was an unconscious individual. It wasn't until our officers arrived on scene, went in to do caregiving check on the individual who was unconscious, that we found the scene that we found.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Heather Roberts with ABC News. Just to follow up on what she asked. So the other 2 roommates were there at the time of the attack?
All the information we have from our investigation is that yes, they were.
Okay, if they were unhurt.
That's correct.
So is there any explanation as to why it took so long then for someone to call 911? You have surviving witnesses to an incident at 3 or 4 in the morning and the 911 call didn't come until noon?
I don't think I ever said that they were witnesses. I said they were there. So, you know, we don't know why that call came in at noon and not in the middle of the night. Would have we loved for that to have happened? Yes, but that's not how it took place. So that's why we're investigating everything still to try to pull all the pieces together.
Were they one of the people, were they the 911 caller?
At this point in time, I'm not going to divulge who our 911 caller is, just because I want to keep the integrity of the investigation at this point. Okay.
Okay. And last question, are you able to tell whether the same weapon was used on all 4 victims?
You know, that's why we're having the autopsies done. The autopsy will confirm that and hopefully collect some evidence for us, even from those. That's why you do the autopsies, is to try to be thorough and try to gather more. So we'll leave that would probably be something that would come out later.
Okay.
Excuse me, Derek Shook, Fox News Digital. Was there anything missing in the home, or were the person still there? Any robbery attempt, anything like that?
Nothing that we have identified. And I'm going to take about 2 more questions. All right.
Hi, I'm Tim with the Daily Evergreen. I was just wondering, were the 2 other individuals present at the home when police responded at noon?
Yes.
Chief, if you don't mind elaborating a bit more on those 2 people. Was it 2 people? What have those people shared about the circumstances of that night, what they saw or didn't see?
Well, I'm not going to go into what they shared that night. Obviously, that's part of our investigation. That's part of the information that we're trying to build our complete story with. So as far as that goes, we're not going to go any further into what they know, what they don't know.
How many were there?
We believe 2.
Have you looked into the social media accounts of all the different we understand that one may have had an account linked to her Instagram account. Have you looked into those accounts? Have you seen any sort of threats made to any of the individuals?
So we are looking at all resources. You know, we got, like I said, the Federal Bureau of Investigation helping us. We got our detectives, our forensic detectives looking into that. We're trying to pull this whole picture. We're looking at everything that we can look at, social media, etc. So to answer your question, yes, we are.
Were the victims all found in one part of the house?
I'm not going to divulge that either. That's part of our investigation. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and close this off. But if you'd like to, if you have any questions for the university, we'll open that up at this point in time.
That's kind of what I was thinking, Vicki. Especially with the door being unlocked.
Ask a question. Yes, over here.
Oh, actually, I had a question for the chief, so I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll pass it.
Okay. What is the university doing to make their students feel safe?
Yeah, great question. At this time, I think I'll turn this over to Blaine, who's been dealing directly with our students and dealing with those that truly still feel unsafe.
Liza, I think it's been like 5 days ago now. Or
absolutely. Thank you for the question. A question of safety is on everyone's mind. We have increased campus safety patrols. Our executive director of campus safety and security, Jake Nichols, is out of the way actually here, and so I'm sure he'd be able to answer some of those questions. We have a campus safety escort where students can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to arrange for a security escort to be escorted across campus during the day or night. It doesn't matter at any point in time. We're also providing resources to students to help them navigate through this from an emotional standpoint. We've had drop-in counseling that has been utilized both in our counseling center as well as the student union building. And we're also supporting students, like President Green indicated, that if they want to leave and go now, they absolutely can. We're going to support them in doing so. Many students have questions about their academics and whatnot, but this is a very dynamic, fluid situation, and we want to make sure we're supporting students and their families to get through this the way that they need to.
Yeah, absolutely. Washington State University is about 8 miles that way. What would you suggest that Wazoo does to make their students feel safe if they're unsafe?
Communication and encouraging students to reach out and use resources. That's a fantastic campus. I talked to their dean of students in office yesterday, and they are mobilizing their support resources. All campuses have supports in place. Students just need to make sure they're leaning in and reaching out to it. And many times students don't, but we encourage that. Absolutely.
Hi, this is Hadia Thark with Argona. This may be a question for Scott Green or Blaine Eccles. So with the decision to cancel classes on Monday, while I understand the university is trying to remain flexible for students, why has class not been canceled for the remainder of the week?
Well, because a number of our students who still want to go to class, they gain comfort in being around their other students. They gain comfort from interacting and staying busy with their faculty and attending classes, labs. Some are working on their semester projects. So we've heard from them. At the same time, we want to provide the ability for any student who did not feel comfortable staying around, who did not want who was unable to process that way, that they had that opportunity to go, and we've been helping them as well. All these absences are excused. We've asked our faculty to work with those students who chose to go, so we felt this is the best way, to respond, to give as much flexibility as we could to our students and our faculty to help manage the situation. And frankly, I think they've done a very, very good job.
Is the university working with the parents or the families of the victims? Are you in touch with them?
They are. I'll turn that back over to Blaine. I know we both have been in contact with the families, but he's been very close to it. And so, Blaine, you want to take that question?
Absolutely. One of the hardest jobs I had is talking to parents of students who have died. It's the absolute worst part of my job. And so I've reached out and made contact with all the families. We've offered our support, and we're going to stay in constant contact with them. I communicated with them almost every day. We usually give a little space and time before we reach out, just for the sheer shock of absorbing the loss of a child and what that looks like. But we're going to stay in support of them moving forward for the weeks and months to come, and in whatever capacity they need.
We've talked to a few of them, and they've expressed some frustration with the lack of communication from investigators and from the officials involved on that side of it. Has the university heard that from them? How are you working with them to help kind of close that communication gap?
Sure. I do know that Captain Barrett from the Moscow Police Department is also in constant contact with them. He reaches out to them on a regular basis. From that standpoint, I think it's safe to say everyone, the families most of all, want information, and they want justice. And I can't do anything but honor what their needs are and what they are. Whenever I hear a concern from the family members about what's going on, I definitely make sure I communicate that to the Moscow Police Department. They're very busy. They're working, the men and women
very much.
We're working really hard on their behalf and on our community behalf. But if we be a conduit to share information, we're absolutely going to do that.
I agree, Vicki.
Has there been any update on the candlelight vigil that is postponed until after the break?
I believe it's November 30th.
What time? We're looking at 5 or 5:30. We're trying to finalize. Well,
Yeah.
There was a candlelight vigil that was originally scheduled tonight, but because of the volume of students who have left, we want to make sure we're creating a space where they can participate. We don't want someone driving back during this time to do that. So we've rescheduled to November 30th. We have to finalize the time. We will definitely be sharing that out to our students in our community and the larger community. We're just finalizing some details. We're going to communicate that with the families as well. It'll be on campus. We haven't figured out the location yet because we're going to be monitoring what the weather looks like. We anticipate a large amount of individuals. That being said, we also have 2 communities that are just providing beautiful support. There's a candlelight vigil in Boise tonight in honor of our lost students. And there's also a candlelight vigil tonight in Coeur d'Alene. And I say nothing but thank you and for the love and support from those communities that are supporting us. And we've seen that support come across the country and around the world for the University of Idaho and these families. And so it's a beautiful thing.
President Green, can you talk a little bit about the vandal alert that involved a knife and how the university handled it and what you found in that case?
Yeah, so basically we were just responding to the information that we had from the Moscow Police Department at that time. We have an incident response team. We gathered Sunday as we were notified by the Moscow Police Department that there had been a crime committed. At the time, we weren't sure if they were students or not, and we wanted to provide help to the Moscow Police Department, and we think we were able to do that successfully to help them, identify those students and contact their relatives. So, beyond that, it was just trying to understand what the assessment was of the risk to the campus, and we relied on our subject matter experts, as you've heard. They know more than any of us about this, and then based on that, we started making decisions about how to move forward this week.
What decisions or what was the conclusion you had at that point about the level of risk?
Well, of course, your first, in the first vandal alert, it was high risk. Where we had really no information, and we asked our students to shelter in place, and until we got the all clear, it wasn't all clear, but reduced risk where we could where students could start to move around more freely. We had people sheltering in places like the library, and the Pittman Center, and places around campus, and we didn't want to keep them there all night if we didn't have to. And so as soon as Moscow Police Department determined that it was safe for them to begin moving around and be vigilant, we sent the other vandal alerts.
Yeah, my apologies. I was referring to the earlier vandal alert involving the threatening with the knife that happened in September.
Yeah,
I agree, Carol.
Thank you, Brian.
So, vandal alert. We had a group of students walking back to Greek Row from a location off campus. They encountered an individual who was not affiliated with the university. They got into
very possible,
from my understanding, a verbal altercation, and he ended up flashing a knife at them. It was not a stabbing. It was not a stabbing attack. It was a threat, to the best that we know. We sent out a vandal alert warning the individuals of our campus community at that time. I don't have the specific date, but it's out there from that aspect of it. And it's my understanding that individual then later turned himself into law enforcement, and they've addressed what that happens.
So it's not connected in any way to this.
That's a question for law enforcement.
You know who he is.
I know about the incident. I don't know the individual because he did not turn. He's not affiliated with the university. So my understanding, he turned himself into law enforcement. So I can't answer the question of whether he's connected with this or not.
I want to thank you again for coming. That's going to be all the questions we take at this time. We appreciate you coming and spending time with us, and we will continue to put out information as we have time. And we want to reassure the community that the Moscow Police Department and everybody works will do everything we can. We love this community. We've a lot of us have went to the University of Idaho, and we are Vandals, and we will do everything we can to solve this. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys for sitting through that. And yes, the autopsy is out, I do believe. It was a stabbing, and it was multiple stab wounds per victim. The fatality wounds were all chest wounds. That's not to say that there weren't throat wounds, okay? And you're very much right, guys. I was thinking about motives, okay? The two girls that were really close friends, Kaylee and Madison, are gorgeous, beautiful girls, okay? Very beautiful girls. So, jealousy, absolutely. Jealousy could be a motive. It could be a guy that just was maybe denied, didn't get what he wanted, something like that. I mean, it's okay, Carol. And then there are, right, and that's what I said. The fatal wounds were chest wounds. And it's okay, Carol. That's what we do here. I try not to go super graphic, but it is what we do here. Right. And if you know what you're doing and you hit them in the right spot one time, you're done. That's the end of it. But you got to understand something too, guys. This could be a woman doing this, but you got to have some strength to go through the chest wall. Okay. You have to have some strength to get through that. You can't just walk in and go, and it's bad. No, you got to have a little strength behind that to come down with some force. Okay. Big knife. Yes. They're saying it was a big knife. That will help in that situation. But, it is what it is. 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think and talk at the same time. It's not working for me. Oh, sorry. What did I do here? So yeah, there has to be some force behind that to break that chest wall. But again, if you do that, yeah, you're right. That's what I was getting ready to say, Carol. Or know the exact right spot in between ribs and just kind of like pink, and it's there. Okay. And it's not a good thing. So I don't know, guys. It's yeah, right, Daisy. I was just gonna say it could be, a med student
tonight. More questions,
or whatnot. Now let me see. This is the autopsy. It's gonna give the news in regards to the autopsy, guys. I'll give you that real quick. Hopefully it's the right one.
As investigators race to find a suspect in the gruesome murder of 4 college students in Moscow, Idaho.
It's pretty traumatic. College student.
The coroner saying today autopsies investigators now if the victims may have gotten the suspect's DNA on their body.
Blood, perhaps, or
something under somebody's fingernails.
The coroner saying the autopsies have found the time of death sometime after 2 a.m. Investigators now reviewing this video, which they say shows two of the victims at a food truck just hours before the murder. Police also confirmed two other roommates were home and unhurt at the time of the murder and are actively cooperating with the investigation.
We're not just focusing just on them, we're focusing on everybody that may be coming and going from that residence.
Authorities say there was no sign of forced entry at the home. They think this was a targeted attack and are still searching for the murder weapon.
We cannot say that there's no threat to the community.
Meanwhile, a community in mourning.
Just because there's so many people here in this area who know them and love them, and we just want to shine a light on them.
While a mass murder is still on the loose. Gunny Schwartz, NBC News.
Well, again, those are the results. Like I said, the fatality wounds were made in the chest. Again, like Carol was saying, if you hit them in the right spot in the chest, it's one shot. That's it. That's all it takes. And this is sad. I mean, it's really sad. And I will say this, thank the Lord that the other two weren't affected by it, but it makes me wonder why. It makes me wonder why. That's one of my biggest questions is why did the other two not get affected? Was it because they didn't know they were there? Was it because there was a personal vendetta with those four for whatever reason? These are all the questions that we really want to know, you guys, and we need answers to in that sense, right, personal. So it makes me think that those four possibly, were closer than those other two were to them. You know what I'm saying? So was it somebody that was maybe a disgruntled ex-roommate of those people or something like that, And as far as a love triangle, that doesn't make sense. If you put all four together, that'd be some weird ass love triangle, in my opinion. I'm just saying. So, I don't know. One second, everybody. I'm trying to see something here. Right. That would be, and if they didn't know they were there, thank God. That's all I can say is thank God. This is the premier medical school in Idaho. Aha. Okay. Well, there you go. And that probably is true, Daisy. That is probably the likelihood that they didn't know they were there because it's spread out all over the house, guys. One second, everybody. I gotta do something here. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Carol, have a great day. Thank you so much for joining us. I very much appreciate you and hope to see you soon. What was I going to do? Sorry, everybody. One second. All right, here we go. Okay, these are the two students that were not touched, okay? And again, very pretty girls. And yeah, Daisy, you're right. It could be a girl crush. It could be anything. Anything, guys. Honestly. Again, very pretty girls. So it could be a jealous guy, a girl. It could be anything, guys. It's hard to tell. Blow this up. Maybe that's too much. Hold on. These are the two. Oh, there's the one. Okay, this is Dylan. And that's the other thing too, is I was looking at this earlier and I didn't really see the other people. Well, there's Maddie. I see that earlier when I was looking at it, so I may have missed that. But okay. Madison Mogan is one of the girls that was unfortunately attacked and is now deceased, sadly. I haven't had a whole lot of time, you guys, to actually like deep dive on this, to start looking at their friends. Whoa, that's a big close up. Sorry, guys. And that I was gonna say that, Daisy. It could be that, I mean, they're very pretty. They kind of have that look to them, as you know, they know they're pretty type thing, and they could be mean girls. We don't know, you know. Daisy, that's very possible as well. Very possible. I don't know that, Raynona. I don't know. I know that they said that there were multiple floors that had multiple scenes, and there's like 3 floors of this, I believe. So sadly, you know, we don't know for sure exactly. And that is another situation that is very possible with the other two, is that maybe he heard somebody coming outside or some movement or a car and was like worried to get caught, or he or she, I should say, and bolted, and that's why the other two weren't affected. Thank God. You know what I mean? All I know is it's sad. It's very sad. I'm going to look more into the 2 that survived and see what's up, kiddo, and see what's going on with them and their backgrounds, and see if there's anything that related that way. And that's what I want to do mainly. But so I'm going to be digging a little bit more. She said hi. That's my heart. And I was thinking about that, Sherry. I think very possibly there could be more than one. I do. You know, if it was that, say for instance, it was the guy we saw in the video. Him and his buddy decide they're going to do what they're going to do. And, you know, they're drinking or whatever. They're going to have their way with these girls. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? At this point in time in life, I don't put it past anybody to be that way. Sadly. Very sadly. So that's pretty much the situation, folks. Hold on a second, everybody. I got to check something real quick. Yeah, I know. Exactly, Daisy. And if, you know, there's people that are sick that like this kind of stuff and they get off on it. So one could have just started a downhill roll. So again, you know, if anybody wants to call in and give your thoughts on it, my number is 234-703-4047. Please give me a call. Give me your thoughts. And if not, I get it. You know, no worries. I am going to be touching more on this as I do a little more digging. I haven't really had the chance to dig too much because there was some other stuff we were covering. Either very swift or multiple people. I agree, Daisy. Really do. I do. You're making a lot of good points today. You really are. So that's pretty much going to be it for today, guys. I kind of hit everything I could. I gave you guys the autopsy results. Again, I haven't had a lot of chances to dig on this one because I was working on the other stuff. I am going to dig a little bit more, like I said, on those two people, and I want to see if there's any interlinking relationships in between. No worries, Smoothie, don't worry about that at all. I kind of feel like this was premeditated as well, Liza, because they were only home. They got home at 1:45, and they said that sometime after 2 that this happened. Unless I just don't see somebody doing 4 people doing that to 4 people in a quick fit of rage or something. I can't imagine that. Okay, I'm thinking either somebody was in the house waiting for them, or somebody knew who they were, got there ahead of them, set it up, but then there was 2 other people in the house that would not have heard that. They took the chance of going in there if that's the case. And I'm thinking they may have known that, It's very strange. This whole thing is very strange. And here's the other thing is, why a knife instead of a gun? I don't, Liza. I did have it, but I don't use it anymore. That was my thought. Like, why did you use a knife? Because it's a lot harder to do certain things with knives than it is with a gun, obviously. A gun is just boom, 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 you're done. A knife, you got to work at that. It's not that easy. Yeah, you're right, Smoothie. That's a fact. That is a fact. It's not just a whim. Not at all. So... I don't have Twitch, like I said, Liza, but I was looking into getting it. I guess multiple people have asked me about it, so I figured I might. So I think that's going to be it for today, guys. Yes, I would think so too, Schmovie. I hope they left some kind of DNA. I really do hope they did. I hope so bad. Can't wait to catch this piece of crap. So I think, as I said, that's going to be it for today. I'm going to do a little more deep diving on this and digging and see what I can come up with. And if something big time happens before that, I'll be back beforehand. But otherwise, I will be back with this not too long from now. I just got to find out some more stuff. Yeah, right, Daisy, exactly. So, I appreciate everybody jumping in today, talking about it, listening to me, just being here. Love you guys. You know that. I appreciate anybody that may have donated to the PayPal and or the Cash App. Very much appreciated. Oh, and the Venmo too. I haven't posted that too much, but I very much appreciate that. But I'm just very grateful to have you guys all here. Moderators, great job. As always, I love you guys to death. And I thank you for everything you do for me and my channel. As always, guys. Guys, do me a favor. Squirrel, I will talk to you here soon. Guys, do me a favor and continue to be the person that you are, because you guys are great. I love you guys. And don't forget, everybody, to love yourselves and love each other, because that's all we got. You have a great, amazing rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you, Cece.